So today I'm actually doing cardio. Now I'm not saying that I've never ever done cardio before in my life, but this is just kind of like something I decided that I was gonna do instead of like I guess akin to my usual type of training or the type of training that I'm trying to do. Therefore, it kind of gives me somewhat of a rest day from the usual was resistance training that I would try and do every day. So I this did kind of just come off of from being sick. So yesterday I was sick and I couldn't really do much. So I was like, although I feel pretty healthy, I feel fine now. I can probably just take it a bit more easy, just work the heart a bit more. And for me, most of it is just trying to find ways to try and actually properly work my heart through, I guess you could say, calisthenics exercises. Just trying to see like what actual exercises can you consider to be calisthenics but are also good for cardio that aren't just squats or lunges because those are still very much resistance based, but there aren't a lot of like calisthenics exercises. But what you just saw me doing here, so first I started off with Hindu push-ups, into like getting up off the ground. Now I was just doing Hindu push-ups just to experiment with them, just to try them out or whatever. They definitely do require a good amount of like shoulder strength because you kind of are doing like a pike push-up into a like a stretch position. In this movement here that I'm doing on the screen, these are an exercise where it's kind of like a burpee, but you're removing the jumping aspect and you're removing the push up aspect. So that way there's no resting in between each section. Because usually, like, what might happen is like when you get up from the burpee and you jump, and when you land on the ground, you might tend to kind of rest a little bit when you're on the ground. This way, you're just simply getting up and down, and you're not taking away the kind of like impact aspect when it comes to doing the push up at the bottom. This is not an exercise made by me. This is an exercise made by Ches Cantator. I really hope I'm saying his name right. I don't know if that's correct or not, but he calls him gorilla up and down. So I'm not sure if this is like foretold in the prophecy or something, or if it's like racist for me to do that exercise. I have been called a gorilla by many friends. I've also been called a gorilla by my sister plenty of times. She calls me gorilla more than my own name now. So, maybe it was right for me to do these. Right here, I'm doing jumping jacks. I did like 100 reps of these, 110, I think. I did 10 extra because I might have been miscounting. But this is something that I've seen like when I was in Africa, people working out on the beach. I've seen them do this. I've seen Indian and Senegalese wrestlers do this type of training. I've seen my father even do this when warming up. So it seems like pretty interesting to do. It definitely, especially when you're getting to like 100 reps, high reps, you definitely do for your hips and your shoulders because you're getting that jumping jack like motion, and that's one thing too. Like, sure, this isn't a like your usual jumping jack, but like, don't forget the basics. I mean, I know the last time you probably did jumping jacks was like in middle school or whatever. I'm pretty sure the last time you might have done a jumping jack, you might have been very young or whatever. You might think jumping jacks are like a school thing, but it's a very effective kind of like a full body warm up. You're getting your shoulders warmed up, you're getting your hips warmed up, you're getting your ankles warmed up, things like that. And so you're just kind of getting like full body tension throughout, especially if you kick your legs up like this. You're engaging your hips and your core and your glutes and stuff like that. So don't forget about jumping jacks. You want to keep those in, especially in a cardio routine or maybe when just warming up. Again, though, I am just kind of experimenting. I'm just trying to see what works for me when it comes to cardiovascular work in terms of I guess calisthenics. And here I did jump rope. No, I'm not jumping at like light speed or whatever. I just sped up the footage. So I did 3 rounds of jumping rope. I kind of did like it's a boxer round. Uh, One thing to make sure is, please make if you're gonna do this barefoot, please make sure to check the ground for rocks. You can see me over here like checking the ground and stuff. I was like so annoyed every time my foot would like touch a rock. Another thing that happened, I haven't been jump roping in like forever, and this is my first time in a while. So like sometimes I would trip over the rope, and then the rope would like freaking whip me up in the back, and I'm like, Massa, please, please, Massa, sending me all the way back to like the 1500s or something. So if this is something you're not gonna do, or you haven't been doing in a while, then expect that to happen. Or if you're just now getting a jump rope or whatever, you might just really hurt yourself a little bit. I mean, nothing. It's nothing crazy. I mean, you just might get hit in the back. Maybe your toe is gonna get hit. I was doing these barefoot. So I remember when I really first started off with jumping rope, I did kind of notice how like my toes would just get hit like a lot. But at some point, you kind of get used to it. It's very interesting how you kind of get used to something like that. But I had a pretty good time jump roping. I was trying to get back into my usual like movements that I would do. I remember I was like really, really intrigued and really interested in jump roping. So again, I don't think I finished this thought, but what I did 3 rounds, right? So 3 rounds, 3 minutes each, 1 minute rest in between, kind of like some like boxing rounds or whatever. Especially since I haven't like done jump roping in a while. So instead of me doing like 15 minutes straight, I could just do 3 minutes rest, 3 minutes rest, and then another 3 minutes, and then that would be the end of it. But again, like I'm like sure these exercises were kind of fun, especially doing them outside, getting a good sweat in. But I'm just gonna have to find some type of way for me to enjoy, I guess, cardio when it comes to calisthenics, or at least doing cardio intentionally. Because the only type of cardio I do is like just doing like high reps, high intensity type of stuff. So like just a bunch of squats or doing some type of circuit where I'm going in between, squats, dips, push ups, pull ups, whatever. But in terms of like actually training that muscle, I do run. I like to run here and there, like maybe every other week or something like that. I'm not very consistent, but that's one thing I'm gonna have to definitely stay consistent. And I should definitely add this type of day to my training. Or actually, I have no choice but to. So that way, this is more of like a rest day. So every Saturday, I'm telling myself that I should have some type of day where I focus on some type of cardiovascular activity. So whether that be running, whether that be jumping rope, whether that be jumping jacks, whatever, burpees, whatever the case may be. But there's something I have to do in order for me to keep track of my cardiovascular health, so that way my heart doesn't give out and stuff like that. Even if calisthenics, in general, it's a pretty good way to work your heart, compared to weights, because of course you're using like the whole entirety of your body and everything like that. But still, you have to have some type of direct work anyways. Just that way the heart muscle can become much stronger, right? The heart muscle is the reason why your entire body is functioning anyways. It's what's helping pump blood throughout your body. So that way it's like, you're not getting nauseous, you're able to think well because you're having blood being pumped to your brain and stuff like that. Your muscles are able to go through hypertrophy and go through, strength changes and adaptations because of the blood flowing to those muscles. So you just have to really make sure to take care of your heart, because, like the Grinch, man, you want to have a bigger heart. You want to grow your heart 3 times its size, so that way you can even love more. You have a much healthier heart. You're gonna have a better love life. You're gonna love your family more. You're gonna love your girlfriend or boyfriend more. You're gonna love your kids more. I'm not sure actually if that's true or not, but it probably is. I mean, it's just taking care of your health. If you take care of your health, you're probably gonna take care of people around you more, or you're gonna be more likely to want to take care of other people around you. And that's one thing too. I have noticed myself become a lot more concerned with my family's health, as I've been taking more and more care of my health and becoming more and more aware of certain things. It's just very interesting how that effect can take place, because when you are in an unhealthy state and you notice all of those things, and you get out of that, you become healthy, and you notice all of those things that was affecting your health, and then you start to see it in your family, you really want to try and make or help them make that immediate change. So I'm like, it's just interesting to see me trying to advise my own parents and my own family members on like what they should and should not be doing in regards to their own health.